Hi and welcome back to Brooklyn's World. This is a continuation of part 1 where I delve into my journey with interstitial cystitis, which is another of the secondary conditions that I've developed due to lupus. I had to stop the first video where I did, as I was just getting too exhausted going through all of the old information and photos that I had, and I knew that there was only more to come, so I needed a little bit of a rest. But we're now at the part of the story where no treatments were working for me. Things really started to get serious now, and there was talk of having my bladder completely removed as I was out of treatment options. There was only one thing left to try, a drastic and expensive surgery. My stimulator only worked for a couple of days before my nerves got used to it and basically it stopped working. So my urologist decided to implant a second stimulator. This time it would be attached to my spine. It was hoped that the second stimulator would help the first one do what it was meant to do. I've had to learn how to manage living with the implants. The implants can be very uncomfortable and the wires can stab through my skin, which can be quite painful at times. I also have to make sure that they are charged every couple of days. Having to remember and having the time to be able to charge the implant literally is a pain in the butt because, well, my implants are in my butt cheeks. So it is something that I just need to do all of the time because I always want the implants to be working and I'm not going to risk breaking $120,000 worth of equipment. You cannot allow the implants to have no charge because obviously they won't work. I try to have mine charged when they're between 50 and 70% power. You also can't let the implants go down to 0% power for more than 3 times. If you do this, then it's most likely that they just won't ever charge again. Basically, you've broken them. I would never ever take this risk. So I thought I'd give you a little show and tell on the equipment that I use to be able to recharge the batteries that are internally inside me, which are part of the implants. So when you get your equipment, it comes in a little case like this, and inside this case is where you're meant to hold everything that you need. Now for me, I was having great difficulties with this case because it was quite awkward to be able to hold and it was also quite heavy and it sort of made my wrist hurt. And then when I got the second implant, I ended up having 2 of these. So literally lugging around both of them at the same time was just, it wasn't working for me. Then one day I had to get a replacement part sent to me, and the representative from the company actually sent me the wrong set of equipment that I needed. But the equipment came in this cool little bag, which I thought, oh my goodness, that would be the best thing for me ever. So I asked the lady if she could give me one of those bags instead of the cases that I use. And initially she said they're not meant to, but she will go and ask all over Australia for all the other representatives to see if any of them have a spare one. Anyway, a few days later, I had a parcel turn up at my door, and much to my happiness, it was a proper bag that I can actually use and hold, and it's got a strap, and there's enough room in it to be able to carry both sets of the equipment that I need at the same time. So I'll show you what is in the bag and all of the equipment that I use. So the first thing that we have in here is 2 chargers. Basically it looks like a mobile phone charger. So there is 2 of those. 1, 2. And then I have 2 of these are the charging paddles. These are what does the actual charging. 2 of those. And then I have my 2 remotes, which I keep in these little pouches. I actually made the pouches, which I was quite proud of because I'm not a very good sewer at all. So here is what the chargers look like. I guess it looks like a little brick mobile phone. So we've got one in just the purple sleeve, and that has a dragonfly on the back and the letter R. So that means that this one is for my right side. And then I have dragonflies on one of the pedals and one of the chargers, just so I know which set goes with everything, because they look exactly the same. They're identical, so there's no way that I can tell them apart. And the second one looks exactly the same, except for this one has an L and a flamingo, and there's flamingo stickers on the other pedal and the other charger as well. So the first thing that I have to make sure that I do is have the actual controller charged, because it's the power from this is what provides the power to the battery ultimately inside my body. So just like charging a phone, I guess you get the little end and put it in and plug it into the wall and off you go until it's fully charged, and that's about it for that bit. Once that's done, and you'll see on here if we can see the screen. So at the moment that's just the normal screen. Press the padlock, and then that's telling me that it's looking for a device, which right at the moment it might not. Oh yep, there we go. And on this screen, this part of the screen is the programs that has been programmed into me. This is where I can make the sensations or the vibrations of the implants increase or decrease, and I can also turn them off. But at the moment I'm quite happy with the settings, so I don't touch them at all. I don't want to fiddle with something that's not broken. Up the top here there is a little picture of a battery and a picture of a little man. And if I press those, another screen will come up, and that is telling me that the battery in this device is at 80%, and the battery that is inside me on my right side is at 90%. So that's all pretty good at the moment. When I do want to recharge myself, when it gets below 70%, we get the pedal, attach that to the charger, and then this pedal goes directly over my scar. Now my scar is in my butt cheek, so I don't really want to be showing you that on screen because I'm not sure if the world's ready for my butt being showed to everybody yet. But you can probably get the idea. It literally goes there, and then this will tell you if it's working or not. That will just do its thing, and then basically I just have to keep it there until this tells me that it's at 100%, and then I'm done. Sometimes it can take 10 minutes or so, other times it can take up to an hour. It just depends how much the stimulator is trying to work at the same time as being charged. So if the stimulator is not trying to do anything, then obviously it's going to charge a lot quicker because it's not using up the power that it's getting at the same time. One thing that is good about the chargers and how I can recharge myself is because I have two sets of everything, I can put both chargers on a scar at the same time and have both of them going. Sometimes I can look a little bit funny when I have both of the pedals attached to me at the same time, and then I have two cords and two what looks like remote controls hanging off myself, but it's the quickest way to do everything, so I don't mind if I look a little bit silly. So this is what I can look like when I have both chargers attached to me at the same time. I'm just attached to wires, really. Having the two implants has allowed me to have some form of normal bladder function, but it's not perfect, and some days I can only describe things as a bit dodgy. It has taken away a lot of my pain and the bladder pressure that I used to experience.